This story follows a girl named Ink, who has been sent to a reform school located on a remote island. A reform school is a place where young offenders are sent by the government to be rehabilitated and given a chance to become better people. This particular school is only for girls. As for the crime Ink committed, I'll reveal that later. But first, you need to know the dark history of this island. Years ago, this island was home to a prison that housed some of the most dangerous criminals. But then something terrifying happened. Rumors began spreading that the island was haunted by evil spirits. According to the stories, these dark entities started killing the prisoners one by one. Eventually, the government was forced to shut the prison down. Later, a reform school was built in its place, and it has been operating there ever since. The head of the school is a woman named Priscilla, though everyone simply calls her Mother. There's also only one male employee on the entire island, a man named Pin. He's responsible for transporting people between the mainland and the island, and today he's the one who has brought Ink to the school. At first glance, everything seems normal, but inside the school there's one student who really runs the place, a senior girl named M. Together with her two closest friends, Maprang and Natch, M makes life miserable for everyone. The trio constantly bullies the other students, and people even whisper that Mother deliberately ignores their behavior. M secretly has feelings for Pin. One day she tells him that she'll soon be released because the government will be informed that she's been rehabilitated. But until I leave, she says confidently, I'll continue ruling this place. M spends most of her time tormenting the other girls, and now that Ink has arrived, she immediately becomes their newest target. Before Ink settles in, Mother warns her to follow every rule and regulation of the school. If you don't, she says sternly, things won't end well for you. Meanwhile, Mother informs Pin that a powerful storm has struck the area. Since travel is impossible, he'll have to stay on the island for a few weeks. She arranges for him to stay in the lighthouse, and Pin reluctantly agrees. Emma and her friends are assigned to show Ink to her room, but instead of welcoming her, they mock her the entire time. Day after day, they find new ways to harass and humiliate her. Ink does her best to ignore them, hoping they'll eventually get bored and stop. But they never do. The bullying only gets worse. The other girls are terrified of M and her gang, too afraid to stand up against them. The only person who ever shows Ink any kindness is Pin. He reassures her that everything will be okay. Just hang in there, he tells her. It's only a matter of time before you leave this place. As Pin continues supporting Ink, M grows increasingly jealous. She hates seeing the two getting closer. That night, M sneaks out, planning to scare and torment Ink once again. But suddenly, she feels something strange. A presence. Someone, or something, seems to be standing behind her. She turns around, convinced that one of the girls is trying to frighten her. Slowly, she walks toward the darkness to investigate, but there's no one there. Then, without warning, an unseen force violently shoves her from behind. M crashes to the ground. Panicked, she spins around and looks into the darkness. But there's nobody there, only silence, and the feeling that something evil is watching her from the shadows. The next day, M and her friends became convinced that Ink was behind everything. They believe she was the one who pushed M, fueled by anger. They start harassing Ink even more. But among the girls, there's one named Ploy, who comes from the same village as Ink. She tries to reason with them, telling them that Ink could never do something like that. According to Ploy, Ink had gone to sleep early that night and wasn't even around when it happened. However, M and her friends refuse to listen. They even start picking on Ploy for defending her. To Ink, Ploy is the only person who treats her like a real friend, and that means a lot to her. Ploy comforts Ink and tells her not to take their cruelty to heart. These girls are always like this, she says. They enjoy making other people miserable. Just ignore them. But ignoring them isn't easy. A little later, the bullying starts again. This time, M goes too far. She grabs a pair of scissors and cuts off Ink's hair. Ink breaks down in tears, but M doesn't care in the slightest. That night, everyone eventually falls asleep. M is sitting alone, brushing her hair, when she suddenly hears a strange voice. Then something terrifying appears right in front of her. A witch. Yes, you heard that right. A terrifying witch materializes out of nowhere and violently rips out chunks of M's hair. M screams in absolute terror. The other girls wake up and rush over, but by the time they arrive, the witch has completely vanished. M is left shaken and confused. She has no idea what just happened. Even now, she still suspects Ink. But one question keeps bothering her. How could Ink possibly do something like this? If anyone knows the answer, it's Ploy. So M and her friends confront her. They pressure her and demand the truth. Tell us how Ink is doing all of this. Finally, Ploy reveals a dark secret from their village. She explains that in their village, people believe every child is born under the protection and ownership of a powerful spirit known as a witch. To free a child from that spirit's claim, a special ritual must be performed shortly after birth. Once the ritual is completed, the witch's bond with the child is broken. But if the ritual is never performed, the witch remains connected to that child for life. And anyone who tries to harm that child, the witch makes them suffer before killing them. Ploy tells them that every child in the village went through this ritual. She did. Everyone else did. But Ink never got that chance. Ink is an orphan. Her father died before she was born, and her mother passed away during childbirth. With no one left to care for her, the villagers sent her to an orphanage. Because of that, the ritual was never performed, which means the witch is still bound to Ink. According to Ploy, that witch has become Ink's guardian, a terrifying godmother who watches over her at all times. And anyone who hurts Ink will eventually face the witch's wrath. Ploy desperately tries to warn Em and her friends, but they refuse to believe such a story. To them, the idea of a witch protecting someone sounds completely ridiculous. As far as they're concerned, Ink still needs to be taught a lesson. So determined to punish her, they head straight to Mother and prepare to make their next move. Ink tells Mother everything, explaining how the mysterious spirit has been tormenting the other girls. In response, Mother publicly punishes Ink in front of everyone. Once the punishment is over, the girls go to sleep. Late that night, Mother walks through the school grounds, checking on everything as usual. But suddenly, she feels a chilling presence behind her. A dark shadow slowly approaches, and moments later, she comes face to face with the witch herself, the one known as Ink's godmother. Terrified, Mother screams for help. Her scream wakes everyone up. After hearing what happened, Em becomes furious with Ink. Convinced that Ink is the source of all their problems, Em and her friends decide to teach her a lesson. They trick Ink into following them into the forest, where they lock her inside an old abandoned well. Mocking her, they tell her that if she wants to get out, she should ask her godmother to rescue her. After that, they return to the school and lie to everyone, claiming that Ink has run away. They are certain that nobody will ever think to search for her inside the well. Meanwhile, deep inside the dark well, the witch finally appears before Ink. She comforts her and tells her that everyone has been treating her horribly. Then she offers a terrifying solution. "Just say the word," the witch tells her, "and I'll kill them all." Filled with anger and pain, Ink finally decides that she wants revenge. As everyone searches desperately for the missing girl, Ink's godmother pulls her out of the well. When Em and her friends see Ink walking free, they are completely shocked. How did she escape? Nobody has an answer. Ploy takes Ink back to her room, but Ink already knows that Ploy has been spying on her and secretly helping the others. Ploy tries to explain herself, saying that Em threatened her and she had no choice. But Ink is done listening. The rage inside her keeps growing, and now she's determined to take revenge on every single person who wronged her. The very next day, chaos erupts across the school again. Em asks what happened, only to learn that her two friends, Map and Knock, have mysteriously disappeared. Everyone searches for them, but they are nowhere to be found. Then comes the horrifying discovery. Their bodies are found deep inside the forest. Seeing her friends dead in such a brutal state fills Em with anger and fear. And then, as if to make things even worse, Ink appears before her. "This is only the beginning," Ink warns. "You're going to die too. My godmother won't spare anyone." Em is furious, but there is little she can do. Soon, news of the murders spread throughout the entire school, eventually reaching Mother. Since Mother herself saw the witch that night, she realizes the danger is real. She decides that Ink cannot stay there any longer. Mother orders Pin to take Ink away from the school that very night. But before Ink leaves, Mother wants answers. She wants to know what terrible thing happened in Ink's past that caused her to be sent to this place in the first place. And while Mother begins searching for the truth, an even darker mystery is about to unfold. At the same time, Em and the other girls are desperate to find out what Ink actually did. Soon the truth comes out. Back at the orphanage where Ink used to live, there were several people who constantly bullied and tormented her. Then one day, all of them were found dead. Everyone believed Ing was responsible, but Ing insists that she didn't kill them. According to her, it was her godmother who did it. Ing warns everyone that the same thing is going to happen tonight. No one can save Em. Every person who ever hurts her will die before the night is over. When Em hears this, she completely panics. She has no idea what to do. Every girl in the school is terrified. Desperate for help, Em goes to Pin and begs him to save her. But Pin reminds her that everything happening right now is the result of her own actions. "Why did you bully her so much?" he asks. "If you had left her alone, none of this would have happened." That raises another question. Why did Em do all of this in the first place? Em remembers the day she first arrived at the school. Mother had told her that she couldn't personally keep every girl under control. She needed someone who could rule the others with a firm hand. If Em agreed to do that, Mother promised to reduce her punishment and eventually help her leave the school. Wanting her freedom, Em accepted the deal and became the enforcer. Everything she did was for her own release. But now none of that matters anymore. What's done is done. Now it's Ing and her terrifying witch godmother's turn. Finally, night falls. Fear spreads through the entire school. Everyone knows something horrible is coming. The witch reveals herself, terrifying everyone. At first, she seems to be playing with her victims, feeding on their fear. Ing believes they're all going to die. Yet despite everything, she doesn't want Pin to be harmed. Deep down, she has developed feelings for him. She decides to tell Pin the truth. But when Pin finally sees the horrifying reality for himself, even he is shaken. Em may have done terrible things, but she doesn't deserve to die for them. Determined to stop the bloodshed, Pin locks Ing inside the lighthouse and rushes back to the school. The students are already in a state of panic, but Pin tries to calm them down. He tells everyone that Ing has been locked away and can't hurt anyone anymore. Poor Pin has no idea that as long as Ing's supernatural godmother is protecting her, no prison can hold her. Before long, Ing returns. Now she wants Em dead. She warns the other girls not to interfere. Some of them try to reason with her, telling her that what she's doing is wrong, but their words only make her angrier. Filled with rage, Ing declares that everyone will die. And then, right in front of them, the witch appears. The girls scream in terror and scatter in every direction. But running is useless now. The nightmare has already begun. Ing's first victim is Mother, the woman who set all of this in motion and the one truly responsible for everything that happened. Together, Ing and her witch godmother attack her. Moments later, Mother is dead. Panic erupts throughout the school as the girls flee for their lives. Now Ing turns her attention to her next targets, Ploy and Em. She launches a brutal attack on both of them, and just before Ploy can suffer the same fate as the others, the nightmare takes an even darker turn. At that moment, Em manages to save herself, but a brutal fight breaks out between her and Ing. As they struggle and shove each other, both of them end up falling off the rooftop. By morning, Em realizes something terrifying. If she wants to survive, she may have no choice but to kill Ing. The fight continues and Em finally gets the upper hand. She's just seconds away from ending Ing's life. But then a thought crosses her mind. If she kills Ing, her own life will be ruined forever. At the last moment, she stops herself. Em lets Ing go and tells her, "We've already called the police. They'll be here soon, and we're going to tell them everything. You won't get away with this. No matter where you run, you'll never escape." Ing laughs and replies, "You won't escape either. My godmother will kill you." But this time, Ing is wrong. The witch has finally realized that she can no longer protect Ing. Her secret has been exposed, and sooner or later, someone will separate them forever. Before that can happen, she decides to take Ing with her. And so the witch finally takes Ing away. A short while later, the police arrived at the school. They discover Mother's dead body and immediately begin questioning everyone about what happened. That's when the biggest twist of the story is revealed. Ploy and the other girls tell the police that Em is the one responsible for everything. Em is shocked. She can't understand why Ploy is framing her. Then Ploy finally reveals the truth. "What did you think? After everything you and your friends did, you were all going to get away with it? I was the one who manipulated Ing from the beginning. I figured out that the ritual had never worked and that Ing was still being protected by her witch godmother. So I used her. And it was me who pushed you down the stairs. I knew you'd blame Ing and take your anger out on her. On one hand, I pretended to be your friend. On the other hand, I kept manipulating Ink. I planted the idea in her head that M had to die, that none of us could ever be happy as long as she was alive. And look what happened. Ink killed everyone. Now the police are going to take you away. Once you're gone, I'll rule this school. I've already warned all the girls that if anyone tells the truth, the school will be shut down and we'll all be forced to leave. And nobody wants that. With no one willing to speak up, all the girls join Ploy and pin the blame on M. The police arrest M and take her away. Now Mother is gone. M and her friends are gone. Ink is gone. And with all of them out of the picture, Ploy becomes the new ruler of the school. But now it's your turn to decide. Who was really at fault? Was it Mother? Was it M? Her friends? Ink? Or was it Ploy? Who do you think was the true villain of this story? Let me know your answer in the comments. Subscribe to this channel for more stories like this.